Righty-ho, folks. Welcome to this live stream with Nathan Nolan. So he's new here on the Trading Nut live streams. He's not new to the channel, though. He has been on before, if you remember him. He was one of the finalists on my Trader versus Trader Season 2. So that was a backtesting challenge. Did really well. Had to beat the highest score ever in the challenge, which was 30% over 5 trades. In the final, I think he got close. He was up around the 24% mark, but it was a tough score to beat. But anyway, he is here now on these live streams giving you guys trading education. So ask him a whole lot of questions here. You might get to see him place a trade or two. I know he does that on his live streams before. So yeah, guys, I hope you're going to like this with Nathan. He's over there in Ireland, and he's a full-time trader, full-time funded trader as well. So please welcome to the show, and yeah, have fun.
So guys, how are we all this morning? Good morning. What is up? So we might have a bit of a slow day today because it's a US bank holiday, but yeah, we should be fine. We might have a little bit of volume in London session, but anyway, let's share my screen here and get started. No. What's up, Keith? How are you? So, what we do have here is GJ. So if you guys can see here, I'm going to do a top-down analysis. The London Open is at around 8 o'clock. So this is how I come to the charts every day, and I mark up my charts. So first of all, we come to the charts, we look at the weekly time frame. So we can see here that the weekly time frame at the moment, we finished bull last week, but we actually closed below this zone. So it makes it a little bit difficult for boys this week, as we have failed to break above last week's high. And if we do fail to break above this week's high, well, breaking this low, we should continue down. Good morning. Good morning, guys. So yeah, we may get some sales this week, but now today it might be a little bit slow. So that's a great question. Do I refresh my charts every day? Yeah, so every day I come onto the charts, it's a new start, it's a new beginning. So you need to refresh your charts and come up with the exact same consistent analysis, but you may have different ideas because price action may have changed by the time that you are on the charts, So that is my bias for the week. I think we could potentially get sells as we have failed to close, above this zone here to the left. Now let me see, guys. Maybe I can make this actually a little bit easier here, and I may be able to get up my zoom just for annotation purposes. I may be able to draw up my zoom here. Perfect. So everything is good, guys. You can see the screen, you can see everything. So perfect. We're all set up. So this is the problem here, is that we have closed at this zone on the weekly time frame, right in here, failing to really close above. So we'll see if we do break last week's high or this week's high this week. If we don't, we should come down and break below this zone here like this. And the reason why I'm favoring sell so much mainly is because of the way the monthly candle is. If we have a look at the monthly candle here, we're bare. We have broken through so many the lows and came down back into this zone. So I think it will continue down for the rest of the month. There's only a day and a half left. But yeah, that's the plans. So the broker that I use, that's a good question, is IC Markets, and they're my brokerage at the moment. They have pretty good spreads, pretty, it's low kind of industry standard. So that's the brokerage on my personal account. Then I also trade funded on another brokerage. So let's do our analysis here from the top down, and we'll see what could happen today. So you can see last week we finished off Friday closing bull. Now we actually have broken Friday's high, and we are coming up to this zone on the daily. It's quite a tricky zone because we have resistance right at these areas up here. So let me just draw this up here. So we have some tricky zones, up here. You can see overall that price action at this zone isn't really the clearest, so today, tomorrow might be a little bit of a slow day, so we'll see how that plays out. So we marked up our daily flip. Now we're going to drop down onto a 4-hour time frame and get a better perspective for what's going on. What can we see potentially playing. So you can see here that the 4-hour is also tricky, as the 4-hour has closed right at a zone. There's 2 zones here. Above that zone, this is probably the easiest zone to play in if you're looking for buys. This zone up here. So above 161, you have this zone. Whereas this zone here, it's a little bit of a choppy zone. You can see the kind of price action at it. You have rejections, a lot of ranging going on, and consolidation. So that tells me either 1, we don't have enough volume in the markets, or 2, we're at a strong zone here, so we may start to reverse. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. Whereas towards the left, we have clean structure, and clean structure. What happens with clean structure is when new candles go into them zones, it's replicated a lot of the time. So yeah, that is what we're looking at here on the 4-hour time frame. So let's come away from that. Good question, Japan. So I trade with over a 20k personal account, and that's great. That is well enough to trade with. I think it's on the higher end of 20, around 29 at the moment. But yeah, that's enough. And then I also trade funded accounts. So a lot of the time I'll funnel my money from funded into the personal account and keep on building it up. But yeah, good question. Okay, so let's do our analysis here, because we are approaching London Open. So I want to be ready for London Open. It's around 50 minutes away. So yeah, let's be ready for that. So we have our higher time frames marked up. So you can see I have the 4-hour flip and daily flip. That's just to give me an overall perspective on where the higher time frames are at the moment, basically. So if we drop down to the hourly here, let's have a look at the hourly and 30-minute. On the 15, perfect. So potentially we could take boys above this zone here on the early closure, above this zone, okay? And why? Because we have clean enough price action to the left. This would be your target one. Now, if I was to look at this from a selling perspective, I'd probably end up waiting for her today. And yeah, so if I brought that up to the daily lows, that would be 30-minute. Yeah, so you could get in around here. So at the moment, what I'm doing basically is just marking up some zones that I will be heavily interested in taking a trade at when it comes to it. Good morning, Luke. What's happening? How are you? How are you, bro? Okay, so let's look at this chart here and see what we have going on at the moment. So we have a zone down here that I have marked up for sells. That's the zone that I'm going to mark at way forward. That's at around 159.500. That's going to be the cleanest zone that you're going to have for sells, because at that stage you're going to be breaking the daily lows, you're going to be breaking 4-hour lows, and you're going to be getting out of this consolidation range. And the range is quite tricky at the moment, so best to stay out of that range, really. So yeah, I think that is going to be a valid area. You can see that this is just a tricky zone at the moment. It's not, it's not the best, really. So let's mark up this zone up here. Good morning, Thomas. What is up? How are you? So yeah, I stream on my channel, Japan. I've been streaming on my channel for the last 6 months. So if you went and you looked at my channel, which is Nathan Trades, you would see a detailed, history of trades taken with the stream and MetaTrader shown. I have a pretty small group of traders that come on over there, so everything is very transparent over there. In regards to taking trades, and there is the majority of the time I'd show my MetaTrader when I'm in a trade or after a trade. There's been plenty of times, so yeah, so this is what we're looking for here, is boys above. Now the thing is, if this candle closes way too far up here, way too far up, it will go, the range will be filled a bit too much. So what I'll have to do there is wait for the next zone, and the next zone, to be honest with you, looks a lot cleaner as well. So let's mark up that. So we have boys above 2 zones there. You can see where our overall target is around 161.35. So that is going to be basically, the boys. It's very hard to mark up any noticeable supports here. Obviously, we have one here, and we have one here, but this is also basically a consolidation range. So the best thing to do today will be definitely not force anything. So if anyone's trading at the moment, take your time. You're not in a rush. Don't force anything today. If your setup shows, then play it, cool. But yeah, definitely don't try and force anything today. I banned that guy Japan when he asked that question because he was spamming the chat. But he's obviously he's after coming back now with a vengeance. So here we go. Let's have a look at gold also, because I want to basically just get a feel for what's going on with gold. Yeah, in Discord too, Tony. We post a lot of our trades and ideas. You know, we have a good community over there. Really small community, but we have a good community of members that, you know, actually are interested in trading and, you know, don't mess around or anything like that. All we want to do is get better and, you know, improve. So good question, Robert. So I learned actually quite a lot off Roger. His style is a bit more impulsive compared to mine. You know, he takes a lot of impulsive trades, whereas I'm quite patient. I wait for, you know, candles to close really, at key levels before taking trades. Very rarely I'll take an impulsive trade. But you know, for me, I found that, you know, taking impulsive trades did not suit my trading style, so I had to adjust to that and trade a lot, you know, in a way that suited me, and that way was waiting for candles to close at certain zones, and trading zone to zone rather than taking impulsive trades, and because sometimes you can get into difficult impulsive trade, and whereas if you're waiting for candles to close, you know what you're going to do, you know how you're going to manage a trade, etc. So yeah, you kind of have a better win rate with waiting for candles to close, and you know, managing risk is a lot easier as well. So just looking at gold here, this candle is actually closed nice. We have a 4-hour zone that we could fill by the end of London, around 64 pips away. At the moment, we're kind of halfway there. But I would expect the bottom wick on this 4-hour candle to drive down into this zone here. So what we have now is our higher time frame, so our daily flip. We have our 4-hour flip, and now we're just going to drop back down onto the smaller time frame, so the hourly, 30-minute, etc. And see what we have. So straight away, I can see that, you know, today we had a zone around this area. You know, so let's bring this up here. We had a zone here, right at this zone. Okay, perfect. Sell today, you know, I wouldn't be looking for sells, as the daily is bullish and weekly is bullish, 4 hours bullish. You know, no need to look for sells as of yet. I don't think so. So let's have a look to the left here. And what can we see? We can see that there's clearly a resistance right now that we are tapping into. So let's mark that up with a red line. So above that resistance, what do we have? We have we have clean candles. So clean candles here, around 40 pips. Now let me go back to this zone here and just see whereabouts that we are. So yeah, this zone here we'd have to wait for, and see how price will react to this zone. So bring this to the front. Perfect. So we have our 4-hour flip, our daily flip. Everything is Gucci there on gold. So let's just hop back to GJ here and make sure, you know, nothing's going on. Nothing too interesting. Okay, we still have 9 minutes left. You know, so we have plenty of time. So let's get back to some questions in the meantime while we are waiting here. So let's see here. So do you only trade GJ? No. So I trade GJ and gold mainly over the last, I'd say, a month. On the channel, we have been looking at AJ a lot. Now I think we've only taken one trade on AJ this year, so we're only starting to implement that into our trading plan and our analysis. I was doing analysis on AJ for months beforehand before even starting to trade it, just to get a feel for how it moves and everything. So yeah, mainly gold and GJ, but AJ, I'd say now is a pair that I trade. Yeah. So another good question: how long have you been profitable in trading? So I've been trading now around 5 years, and I would say the first 2 years of that was a lot of signal following and not really education. In the last 3 years, I bumped up the education, start learning a lot more, and I'd say over the last 2 years I've been profitable. Now the timeline may be a little bit off in between that, but overall it took me around 12 months to be profitable. So not too long, but at the time there wasn't like trading challenges and funded accounts and things like that, so there wasn't as much pressure. And the 15-minute close above, see what happens. Let's have a look at that. So the 15-minute, you're right there, Luke, has closed above, and it has closed above this zone that we had marked up. So let's just minimize this a little bit here. Yeah, see, the problem here is, we've made that top wick already. So I'm going to wait for the 30-minute here. And another reason why I'll wait for the 30-minute is because we don't really have an hourly bottom wick. And, a lot of the time we will get an hourly bottom wick. We see, if you look back in kind of this is data here, okay? All this is previous candle data. And we can see that we have bottom wicks everywhere, bar this one. Now, this could be the one that doesn't have a bottom wick, but maybe we'll come down, maybe we won't. We'll see. It's gone quite far now. So let's go to the 4 hour here and let's mark just this 4 hour flip. Now, AJ might be actually quite quiet today because it's a bank holiday in the US, obviously, in New York session. But, sometimes the volume from Asian might overlap into London, whereas we don't really have that today. So let's see this actually. Perfect. I just want to have a look here. I'm sorry if the screen is going a bit weird, but I need to see what we have here to the left. So we have a target here, target 1, and we did have a resistance here. So let's swing back here and have a look. So pretty much once this candle can close above this line here, you'll be good to go to take buys. Now target 1, there'll be a lot more to it than that, but at the moment that's where I need price to close above. Now listen to what I'm saying, guys. I'm not saying buy it as soon as the price is reached, because I know we have a lot of new people here and I know it'll be difficult to understand, but it is a very simple strategy. But don't buy it as soon as we reach this price. We need certain things to happen at these price points. Okay, so it's not just as simple as buying it as we jump into this zone here. So yeah, in regards to GJ and AJ, I'm kind of only going to look for buys in in this session today. You know, I won't really be looking to trade against the trend in this session for any counter trend trades or anything like that. So I'm just going to mark up and keep it really simple, and just mark up my resistances and the zones where I'm going to look for buys above. So yeah, I'll keep it pretty simple for that there today. So let's get back to a few of these comments here. Yeah, so yeah, so the thing is, you know, I learned a lot from his streams, but I've also taken things from a lot of other people in the industry. But you need to take things from people and, you know, blend them around to what suits you. So, you know, you might be learning one thing off some guy, you know, I don't know, let's say a trading guru on YouTube, whatever. And one thing might stand out from his trading plan, or, you know, strategy. And you could take that and use it in yours, but you might not, you know, use all of his trading strategy because it might not suit you. So, you know, trading isn't really, it's not really a, you know, one size fits all. You know, you have to kind of find little bits and bring them all together into one, and back test them, refine them, and then you'll be good. When can we expect the sell off in GJ? So, I don't know, you know, today might be a little bit of a low volume day. You know, it is a US bank holiday. But, you know, thing is here, we need to start seeing previous daily lows first, and anyway, to get any sort of a sell off in GJ. At the moment, you know, I wouldn't look for that. Okay, we need to block some users here. Do I have signals? No. So I don't do anything like signals or anything like that. I may be starting a mentorship soon, but I'll be looking to bring a small group of traders in, and kind of really nurture and grow them, you know. And it won't be like a course type of thing. It will be an actual mentorship, you know, where you're sitting down and teaching people how to trade properly. Thank you very much, Robert. Sure, I'll see you potentially over on my channel during the week at some stage. When did I get my breakthrough in trading? You know, it's a difficult question because the breakthrough in trading comes at a stage where, you know, you kind of get tired of doing stupid things, and you just kind of do the right things every time. That's what I found. When I got my breakthrough, and when I just said, right, you know, I need to do the right things every time, whether it's placing a sell stop at, you know, a level that is valid. You know, why would I bring it up a couple of pips, you know, 5, 6 pips to a level that isn't valid? You know, you need to be consistent with your actions. So if you're all over the place looking for certain different things, you know, it's not going to work out really. Do I trade in London or New York overlap? Yeah. So there is a stage at around 10 o'clock Dublin time, probably around 9:30 Dublin time, where I go to the gym and I get some other things done in my day, you know, and then I might come back at around 12, which is an hour before New York Open. Then I'd kind of trade until around NYSE, and then that would be it. New York Stock Exchange. Once that's finished, I'm done. I'm out. You know, so roughly, you know, 2 hours a session. Yeah. So waiting for the 30. Yeah. So that 30, I see, closed below that zone. Now just about. So the 15 is closed back in the range. You know, what I was hoping for there was for this 30 just to close above, Because of the way the 15 is closed as well, it's definitely kind of giving it away a bit. I wanted this 30-minute. Let's sketch this out, guys. So I wanted this 30-minute to close like this, then obviously the next 30-minute, yourself, to come up and fill this on like that. Oh, not like that. Like this here. So that's what I was waiting for. But what has happened here is that we have respected this resistance. We have closed above the most recent, but we're right at a zone. Now let me just go to the left here and double check that. 15 hourly. Yeah, definitely. So we'll be waiting for London Open by the looks of it. So this is what I do. So now we have all our analysis marked up. I'm going to go back and look at, the 30-minute close on each candle. AJ closed below. Never really gave an opportunity in any way, for a bottom wick or anything like that. Gold has closed right at the resistance. You can see there. So nothing as of yet. So a little bit of patience here will be good. So basically, what my strategy is trading zone to zone. So, one zone to another. And all I'm really doing is predicting the next candle. So the next trading candle, that's all I'm waiting for, Okay, so let's get back to a few more questions here. I am a chronic smoker. Does it affect my trading? I don't think it does, but smoking's not good. So maybe you should give that up. How do you enter after it closes above or below a range? Okay. So if this candle was to close above this range, what I do is wait for a bottom wick. So let's say, let's go into a little bit more detail here. If this candle was to close above like this, and the next candle was to open and come down here and tap into this zone. What zone am I on about? I'm on about the most previous zone here to the left. So once that was to happen and tap into this zone, then my buy stop would be on the flip of this candle, and I'd be looking to fill this wick here. Would be my first kind of profit taking area, but not profit taking area. Maybe that would be the break even area. I'd have to see how many pips that is, and then I'd basically be looking for above that candle. So predicting the next candle and looking to get out to the next zone. So that'd be around 10 pips. So go to break even, and then look for 15 out of that, because it's quite a clean zone. So yeah, if that candle had closed above like that, that's where I would have waited for above the range. Quite simply like that. So PA, yeah, price action has been very, very choppy. But it's a bank holiday. So let's have a look at a Forex factory here. So today is the 30th, I believe. So we do have, a dollar bank holiday today. So price action will be, a little bit slower. I thought maybe we would have had a little bit of volume during London session. It's still 25 minutes to the open, so we have a bit of time. But, definitely in New York, it will be a little bit quiet. So just be aware that if you're taking trades or holding trades, maybe today isn't the best day. Tomorrow, we actually don't have much. No, we don't have much at all. Wednesday, we have some dollar ISM, and we have some CAD news. I don't really trade, CAD, Canadian dollar, or Canadian, because it's not really in any of the pairs that I trade. And we have some Australian news at 2:30 in the morning my time, so GDP. Now Thursday this week, it's a bank holiday in the UK and a bank holiday in Italy, which doesn't really matter as much, but the UK one definitely matters. And it's also a Chinese bank holiday, on Thursday. So take that into consideration when you're trading London session, when you're trading any GBP pairs. Volume might be a little bit lower. So yeah. Friday, we also have a bank holiday. Now, I actually haven't seen this in a while where we have a GBP bank holiday on a Friday, and then we also have NFP. So maybe that will cancel each other out. Maybe you'll just get a volatile NFP that day. Some of these questions are hilarious. Chinese bank holiday. Your wife is Chinese. Very nice. Very good. Thank you, sir, for advice. I'm a big fan. I'm trying to stop smoking. Yeah, definitely give that a rest, man. You want to live longer there. So you're an intermediate. Any advice for me? Just stay consistent with your trading plan. Take it easy, and don't put too much stress on yourself to take trades, and be consistent with your risk management. Risk 1 to 2% per trade. Take 1 to 2 trades a day. Don't really go above that if you're new to trading. If you're feeling emotional, or if you're feeling like you're going to do something stupid like overtrade, go out on a run and do 20 press-ups or something, I don't know, and do something to take your mind off it. But yeah, there are some tips. So who is my teacher? So I never really had a teacher. As I said, I've taken a lot from different traders, and I've actually learned a lot off Raja. So I'd say if I was to have a teacher, I did learn a lot of Raja, but there's a lot of other guys in there as well that I've taken some things off and implemented them into my trading plan. Oh, we have DC trading on. What's good, DC trading? How are you, bro? I hope the stream is going well today. A bit of a quiet morning here, but I will speak to you tomorrow. Have a good session, man. Hopefully everything's going well over there, trading wise. So another question. I'm not used to these questions. They're just coming at me. They're firing at me today. Normally on my stream, it's a little bit more chilled out. It's a lot more chilled out. Question was, So what percentage do you risk per trade, and how many trades do you take per day? So normally I risk 2% per trade on my personal account. Now on my funded account, it's normally half that. So 2%. And trades wise per day, it depends. Some days there might be 3 setups, other days there might be 1 setup, other days there might be no setups. So whatever the market gives me, I take. Now I don't limit myself on the amount of trades I take per day anymore. At the start I used to limit myself to like 1 or 2, but now if there's 3 trading opportunities, I take them opportunities. Once they align with my plan. So yeah. 20 push-ups are difficult when you're a chronic smoker. Well, this is what I mean. You just have to give up the smoking, and you'll be doing pull-ups and all. You'll be swinging out of your bedroom every morning. Yeah, I'm trying to ban this guy here. He keeps on posting things. Yeah. Nice question, Michael. So do I think London usually sets up for the New York session? Yeah. Why is that? Mainly because it's the 4 hour candle closes in 2 hours time. So that's around 10 o'clock my time. Pre-NY is around 11 o'clock. So normally you get that continuation of the 4 hour candle at New York. The 4 hour candle in my location, which is Dublin, closes at 2 p.m. and then NYSE is at 2:30. So 30 minutes later, that's when NYSE is, and you get a new 4 hour candle at 2 o'clock. But usually, yeah, you get the continuation of the 4 hour from, so this 4 hour candle will close at 10, next one will open at 10, and that will be the continuation for New York. So yeah, definitely. What do you think about support on 166.80 on GJ? So that is not really support. That'd be resistance. So if we're having a look here, you can see that this is resistance on the hourly, resistance on the 30-minute. And the reason why I brought it up a bit was because there is a 15-minute zone here. So I brought it up like an extra 7 pips. Instead of right down here. So that would be your resistance. Now, your support would be down here at around 160, 400 levels. This would be your support. So this is where you'd look for, maybe more supports to be formed or continuations of sales or whatever you're looking for. But yeah, so that's your resistance right up here at these areas. And these are your supports. So supports are established once you get a candle closing bullish from them. So right here, you can see it's a pretty decent support. And then, resistances are formed when candles can't close above certain levels. So right here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's pretty solid resistance. So that's a resistance there. And now your question is going to be, how do I know it's a resistance before I get to the session? So you'd look to the left in this case. If you didn't have this data here that we were lucky to have this morning, you'd look to the left and you'd see what is there. And that's how you get your data. And so there, look, this is an interesting perspective that we had this when we got on here. We talked about GJ not having an early bottom wick, and look what's happening here. We're coming straight back down. So let's have a look at what was the first expensive thing you bought with the help of Forex. So to be honest, not really anything. I don't really buy many expensive things, clothes and stuff like that. I like, but yeah, not really any expensive things. I just keep on investing my money into the right things. And look at this, we're flipping here, crazy. So we came when price was up here. We said, watch out here. The hourly doesn't have a bottom wick. Be careful if you're taking buys. And what has happened? We've just come down and made that bottom wick around 24 pips away. So yeah, haven't really bought many expensive things. I prefer to spend my money on experiences. So whether that be traveling, you know, and traveling or other things, you know, doing actual things rather than spending it. Maybe that's changed a lot as I've, you know, matured a bit more. You know, your kind of priorities change a bit. So he bought a Lamborghini. Definitely not. Um, how do your losses? How do you keep your losses small compared to your winners? So it's, you know, people overcomplicate this question, but it's very simple. If your winner is 15, 20 pips, you just need to make sure that your losses is going to be smaller than that. So whether it be 5, 10 pips, you know, normally my losses are 5 pips, and my winners can be from 12 to 30 pips, majority of the time. Sometimes there is an occasion where you might get into a trade and you might, you know, be stopped out the full amount, but that's just due to timing, and you can't really do anything about that. You know, if you get into a trade straight away and boom, 2 minutes later, you know, prices run against you, you don't really have the wiggle room to react, and that's just the case. You know, it is what it is. But just make sure that your losses are smaller than your winners. You know, and then whether you enter a trade and let's say your previous winner was 15 pips, so now you know that you need your next trade to be either a winner or you need the loss to be less than 15. So look at structure on candles, price action, you know, certain levels, and see where you can cut your trade. And if you get into a losing trade, you know, you should really have this all planned out before you enter a trade, and where to kind of see these. So this looks like a beautiful fake out. But yeah, unfortunately, because of the day that's in it, you know, it's a quite an aggressive trade. But yeah. Do I trade order blocks? No. So I don't trade order blocks at all. Actually, haven't really looked into them at all. And you know, I've seen a couple of videos, and you know that's fine. Looks like it works for some people. You know, it's important to understand, guys, that every trading strategy works, and you know there is no go-to. I used to trade fibs. I used to trade fibs with key levels and price action. Basically, that's all I used to trade. Fibs with key levels and price action. Now I've got rid of the fibs and just trade price action with key levels, zone to zone. You know, everything works, but you just have to give it time. So yeah. Order blocks are a scam. You know, so we have a question straight after the next. I don't know if they're a scam. I think an order block is a consolidation zone. You know, so consolidation zone is basically where prices range and bouncing back and forth. You know, that's what an order block is from my perspective of looking at the charts. We all have different perspectives. But you know, I don't think it's really a scam. I think that's a strong word. No, I think everything does work if you give it the right time. When am I traveling to Canada? Soon, Thomas. We're getting a nice skiing trip in. I think definitely soon. We'll have to make a little group chat and get that sorted. A nice skiing trip would be good at some stage. Maybe this year. Yeah, definitely. So Luke is looking for a fake out on GJ, and let me say it's quite valid. Yep. And the only thing is here is that you're going against the daily boys. But the thing here is that for me, this weekly candle, my bias this week was sells personally, because one, the monthly candle I think is going to come down a little bit more. It has a day and 15 hours left. So I think, this is our sign here that this week, what's happened, we've failed to break previous weekly highs, and then we've also closed below this zone. Now, this could be probably a really early price to get into. Today, with it being US bank holiday in May, take the foot off the gas a bit. But we'll see how this 30-minute closes. So, this is how we trade in my streams. We look for the same setups every day, and one of our setups are fake outs. So what a fake out is basically this right here. So what a fake out is prices basically closed above the most recent resistance. The next candle has came back in straight away, closed back in the zone. So what could you expect here? You could expect the next candle to push down here right to this area, and then for the continuation down, something like this. So maybe I'll play it a little bit safer today, and look for the entry at this zone instead, 160-400, rather than the fake out. But I do definitely think, Luke, that you have a argument to take a fake out today. So yeah, that's what I'll look for. So concepts, which concepts do I trade? So it's very, very simple. I just trade price action, so market structure, the way candles are printing, etc., for the way they're forming. I trade zone to zone. So you can see here I have 75 to 160 as a zone. I should have this zone marked down here as well. I do have the zone down here. So I have for sales, I have, this zone down here that I have marked. So zone to zone, price action, market structure, very, very simple. As I said before, predicting the next candle. So if you think of it that kind of simple, you'd be fine. Oh, let me block this guy. Keeps on coming back. Put user in timeout. Yeah, he just keeps on coming back, that guy. I'll have to say it to Cam. Okay, so let's kind of catch up here with this. No sell till 160, 200 for me. Luke. Or I thought you were taking a fake out. Yeah, see the zone that you have there. It is a lot cleaner. The reason why I'm looking at this zone here is because it is near the daily low. So potentially, if we can get this daily low being broke and close below it, we'll be fine. For example, my trade open, I make one cigarette, but taking many trades. So many cigarettes do you go through per day? Probably like 20, 30. You must enjoy smoking. Maybe you should focus a little bit more on the charts than smoking. Yes, Thomas, let's get that sorted and organized, and we'll definitely do that. I always wanted to go to Canada, and a skiing trip or snowboarding would be the cherry on top there. So what do I recommend for new traders on Forex? So first, I recommend, to maybe watch some good educational content. So, Cam, so the channel that you're on right now, there's probably no better channel to watch on YouTube for educational content and people that actually come on and, give free value. It's probably the best channel that you can look for that on. But YouTube is great for beginners to learn. You can go over to my channel, My channel is Nathan Trades, and you'll see tons of videos there, back testing my strategy and things like that. There's tons of information there. And in general, just stay away from, kind of the more clickbait material on YouTube, of 100,000 day profit or million, whatever. Just stay away from that and look for more educational if you're new, definitely. How do I cut losses early? So I think we spoke about that already. If your winners are 50 and 20, cut your losses at maybe 10, but also have a look at market structure when you're cutting your losses, and whether that's at a 15-minute high or a 30-minute high, or you're tapping into a certain zone or rejecting a certain zone. You need to see that first. Then that's where you can cut your losses. Or if you have candles closing against you, that's when you cut your losses. So there are some of the cases. Okay, so I think we've actually, thought we caught up there. So how do I mark my zone? So it's quite simple. If you go back to the start of the stream, or you can watch it, after the stream's over, you'll see how I mark my zones. But overall, I'll be coming on cams, streams, a lot more. Maybe once a week, and then I'll be streaming on my own YouTube channel. So, at the start of every stream, I do a top-down analysis. So that's what I've done today. Yeah. So how many losses a day will you take to stop trading that day, and how many for the week? So these are some rules that I used to have at the start of my trading, but because as time's gone on, I've been more experienced, so I don't really need them. But now, one thing I have kept is the losses in a day. So if I take 2 losses, I just stop and come back the next day. Now, if I take 1 loss and that loss is managed, so I've lost less than expected, I can give my boys a second chance. But if I take 1 loss and it's a full loss and the trade is not managed, well, then I won't trade again. How many for the week? Don't really have any for the week, to be honest. It's just daily wise. Good question, Steve. No, never will I ever trade Liverpool. Great, it was a great season, but unfortunate end. Kind of left a sour taste in all of the Liverpool's fans' mouths, but it's fine. We'll be back next year. Do I have any video on how to mark your zones? So believe it or not, the video that you're watching right now has how to mark your zones, but you just have to scroll all the way back to see it. So yeah. So, at the moment, let's have a look at there. So I'm going to focus on this for a second as we are at London Open. So this is where you'll see some volume come in, guys, at London Open. So this candle has closed below this resistance, but this is London Open, so we may come down, wick down, then flip and fill this candle. And for me, I'm waiting on my play, because at the moment it hasn't given me a play. It's still closed below this zone. But you can see the volume coming in here at London Open. So let's go to AJ, so Australian, Japanese yen, and see what's going on here. So you can see, we have rejected this zone, and this is the zone that we went up and marked up, and it's very easy to get these zones. If you go back to the start of the stream, and you can see where I'm doing the analysis, and you'll see where I got these zones basically. So yeah, we have rejected that zone. Now there isn't, it's not bad range. If you wanted to get a slightly earlier entry, you could look for a wick fill or something like that. But remember, as soon as you break this hourly low, it's invalid. The trade is invalid. So gold, quite similar. We are just at the zone at the moment. We need price to close above. So all the symbols that we're looking at here in currencies are the exact same. We're waiting on that one specific thing. Okay. So will GJ sell off to the bottom? I don't know. I'm not too sure. I am looking for sales this week, and it's mainly because of the monthly candle. And I spoke about that. I would expect the monthly candle to close like this. So close below, something like this. And where are we now? We're only at. We are only at. Oh, yeah. Our price point that we're sitting at the moment. Let me just get the cross up. Is 160.72. So I would expect price, to close at least engulf this candle, but we'll have to see like daily lows being broke first. You don't want to be trying to pick the highest high, of a chart. Maybe wait till you get that clue that we're going to go down, and take half. The thing is here, you need to wait for clues and data to show you where price is going. Well, on my strategy, that's what I wait for. So once I've gotten that indication, which is basically a signal to me from the charts that we're continuing down, then I take the trade. Yeah, I'm not getting in at the best point, the highest of the highest point I could get in, but I'm also waiting on better confirmations. So that's how I trade. I'm not looking for the full piece. I'm looking for a bit of the pie. I'm not looking for the full pie. I'm looking for a slice of the pie, not the full pie. And that's how I found that I could trade more consistently every single day and get profits from the market. Try order block trade. Maybe I will in the future. Let's go up here. We have a bit to catch up on. Yeah, maybe in the future I will. Maybe I'll play around with it, do a little series on YouTube, try an order block trade. Maybe that's something I'll do. Am I an Irish fella? Yeah, I am indeed. I'm from Dublin in Ireland. So yeah. Oh, nice question. Not trading related. Have I skied much? So yeah, I've been skiing since I'm around 8. So I'm quite a good skier. Now I wouldn't be doing any tricks or anything like that. Maybe you and like are pros like that, but yeah, I'd be a pretty good skier. I'd be well able for black slopes and things like that. Haven't been, to the US or Canada skiing. I heard it's amazing over there. I've been mainly in Europe, the Alps, and places like that. Austria, France, Italy, a few places like there. And where was I also? I was in Bulgaria actually skiing as well. What time frame do I mark my zones? So the time frames come from top down. So they come from the daily to the 4 hour to the 1 hour to the 30. Most of my entries are on a 30-minute, and with the daily bias in mind. So interesting enough, we are pushing up here on GJ. But quite similar to the last candle, we don't really have a bottom wick. So we'll see how this candle closes. A lot of patience is required here. I'm not in trades every second. So we have a question, USD CHF. So what do you want me to do? Have a look at USD Swiss. So let's have a look at that. So the key thing to understand here is USD CHF may not move great in this session. And the main reason is because dollar is closed during this session. Okay. So maybe you won't get the cleanest moves until New York session. And what do we have today? We have a US bank holiday. So maybe today won't be the cleanest day for dollar Swiss. So yeah, keep that in mind. But just looking at the daily buys here, if I was to do a quick analysis, I'll be looking for sells. You know, if this was maybe in a more volume time, you could actually pretty much get in here on the break of the low of this candle. Would be good if we were at a volume time, but again, we're out of session on dollar, so it might be a little bit tricky. GJ going to 167 order block. Cool, very nice. Yeah, as I said, I'm not really up to date with the order blocks and things like that. So, if that's your perspective, nice. So what are my thoughts on GJ and GU correlation? Yeah, so if you were to have a look at that, they are slightly correlated. So if we were to have a look at GU here and daily time frame, you can see it's bull, GJ is bull also. They are slightly correlated. They can move a lot different depending on news, especially dollar news really. Dollar and Japanese yen are safe haven. So if they tend to get, if there's any kind of fear in the markets, they tend to get a lot more stronger. You kind of seen that in, the COVID market and the when the first news came out about war in Russia, we've seen the safe havens get stronger, Japanese yen and gold. So if we were to go back here, when did that first happen? I think it was in February when kind of the news came out about the war. So you can see here that Japanese yen started getting stronger, which means GJ came down. Same with gold. What happened in February, March, gold got stronger because it's a safe haven. Investors pull their capital into safe havens, so gold got stronger in February. As it's it's a commodity, so it's an asset basically. So investors pull their capital into safe havens during times of fear or speculation in the markets. So yeah, that's another thing to take into consideration if we were to see any news regarding Russia, Ukraine, news like that. Maybe it's not good to look for sales on gold because big investors peel their money into it, and same with Japanese yen. So you're 17 years old and you start in 2019 and thought Forex was a get rich quick thing, but now I'm milking the market. Very good. So you're well ahead of the curve here. You're only 17. FX is definitely not a get rich thing. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of studying, back testing and filtering out, your good trades and bad trades and things like that. So it's definitely not a get rich thing. I think everyone started thinking that it's gonna be a get rich quick scheme, but you quickly learn that it's not. So yeah. Okay, let's have a look here. GBP USD does not look clear. So here's another tip. If you come to the market and it's not looking clear, then the best thing is to not really trade the markets, because it's not clear and you can't really get a good grasp on what's going on. Then the best thing to do is to sit out, wait till the markets and the charts are quite clear, then you can trade. Because if you're looking at the markets and you can see that, you know, it's not clear, we're ranging and things like that, well then, you know, it's not the best time to take a trade. Wait till you can see things a bit clearer. Did I ever go to Pakistan? No, I did not ever go to Pakistan, but you know, I heard that it's a great place, especially for tourists. I heard that they look after all tourists in Pakistan. I have a lot of friends that are from Pakistan that, you know, I met in Dubai, and when I used to live in Dubai, and you know, they're great people. So yeah, maybe in the future sometime. Who knows? You're a good guy. You're super. Given, thanks for your time. No problem. That's a really nice comment. You know, this is something that I love to do. Trading is something that I love to do. So, you know, if I can help others in the meantime, that's a bonus for me. So, do you have maximum pips for stop loss since you take 50%, 10 pips, I guess? So a full loss might be way bigger. So no, I don't take 50 at 10. I take majority of the position at around 12, but depending on the market structure. So if there's a time where I see that there's an opportunity to take 30 or 40 pips, you know, if let's say we have clean candles, I think there's an example of one last week, or the week before that, where we took a fake out actually on stream, and you can see the highlights on my Instagram. My Instagram's Nathan Trades, you can see the highlights there of how we managed to trade and things like that. Let me post it into the channel. I'll just double check because I think I have two S's. Yeah, Nathan Trades. I get a link here. Instagram. It's on the other screen at the moment. Instagram, Nathan Trades. So here is the link to my Instagram there. So it completely depends. Now, majority of the time, I will say I take around 80% off at like 12. But if there's an opportunity where I can see the trade running a bit longer, I will leave it on a little bit longer, and that's mainly when I get a fake out. But you know, if I get a simple candle closing above the range like this setup here, which could play out, I will wait for. I will take probably 80% off at 12. You know. So yeah, what's my bias on EJ? So EJ, I presume, was quite similar to GJ. Let's have a look. Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Euro JPY. So yeah, we're breaking out that zone now compared to GJ, where we are kind of holding in this zone. It's quite similar market structure. So let's have a look here. The 1 hour. So my bias of first, directional bias would be bias. So this is another thing that people don't understand, is you can have a direction, but the execution completely depends on that's your setup. So there's a difference between the bias and your execution. So your execution will be a lot different sometimes. And you know, we see it on my streams. We have the bias completely right. I'd say 80% of the time we have the bias right, you know. But sometimes the execution might be hard, or might be a little bit difficult to get into trade, and you know, sometimes you might just have to sit out. But the bias would definitely be bias for me for now. If you look at the weekly, we're breaking weekly highs, daily, yeah. So maybe wait for this daily to close and to get better sense for the week. But as far as now, if that candle closes above, you could probably look for buys. I don't trade EJ. But you know, bottom wick and things like that, you probably want to wait for there. Yeah. Okay. So back to GJ here. So you can see here, you know, we're being very, very patient, and candles are rejecting zones. Our zones are pretty much spot on. So you know, you just have to be patient. So let's have a look at some other questions here. Good question. 300k funded. Is that from prop firm? Yeah. So that's from FTMO. I'm actually sitting at 200 at the moment, but it was 300. Since kind of the start of the year, it's been 200. But yeah. So whereabouts am I from? So at the moment, I'm living in the city centre. But you know, I was born and raised kind of in Crumlin, which is actually where Conor McGregor. I could see a message there saying Conor McGregor. That's where he was from. He's only around the corner from me. Yeah, so we'll see how GJ forms here. Let's have a quick look at how the charts are moving here, and then I'll get back to a few of the questions. So you can see what's going on here. We are ranging. You know, when candles are printing side by side, that indicates that we're ranging. So what do we need? We need to wait for breakouts or, you know, candles to give us that better confirmation that we're going to continue up. So we're just waiting on those good, solid confirmations. What's going on with gold? Gold, also the exact same. And GJ, we are the exact same on GJ at the moment. We're just ranging. So, you know, some days I get a trade, some days I don't. It depends on the day, and how price is setting up. So Thomas skied the Swiss Alps this year for Canada, but that's just me. Yeah, definitely love to try out Canada and the slopes over there. But yeah, the Alps are a beautiful place as well. Really, really nice place, and I love the way, you know, you can go Italy, France, all around, and you know, you get that experience still. I'm a big fan and talk on my channel a lot about ADR. Yeah, sometimes I use a little indicator and I just stick it on, just to see where the Asian high was or Asian low, or you know, the average daily range, and then I can play around that. But it's not really. It's just something that I use visually, so I can see the charts. I wouldn't really use it as like an entry, confluence or anything like that. So we're flipping now on GJ. But yeah, definitely helps you get a clearer view on the charts. Can we go over US dollar CAD? Yeah, let's do that. We have 10 minutes here to wait for a candle to close. So, you know, what's going on? Nothing's going on at the moment. We're just pushing out ranges, pulling back in. AJ bounced off that zone there. So if AJ closes above, I'll consider a buy. Gold same, and GJ the exact same. So we're kind of just in a range at the moment, so you have plenty of time. So let's have a look at dollar CAD. So let's do a weekly and monthly perspective. So the monthly is coming back in the zone. So we have a day and 14 hours left on the monthly. Now, if we look at the weekly, the previous weekly closed bear. So what can we expect this week? Well, we can expect continuations of the sells as we're breaking the weekly lows now. That makes sense. Daily is very key here. So what has happened on the daily? Well, I can see straight away that we have closed below this zone on the daily. We had a resistance up at these zones here. Now we have finally closed below after, being in this zone up here for 7-8 days. So what you could expect now is for clean candles to fill this zone down here. We do have some minor zones in the way, one here. Now this is from a daily perspective. So what we can expect for the week is for continued sell-offs. Maybe we'll struggle at this area for a bit, then eventually come down. And eventually I would expect this range to be filled. But another key thing is this week we actually have NFP. So we'll see how, well, if you're trading CAD, you could take sells, but as it comes towards the end of the week, be careful of NFP, because you might get a nasty wake up, and you might get stopped out, things like that. But yeah, be definitely looking for sells on dollar CAD there. Then if I was to drop down onto 4 hour, the clean thing is that we have this clean structure to the left. Okay, so this is clean structure here. Yeah, we do have 1 or 2 zones here, but apart from them 2 zones, we have clean structure. So let's drop down to the 4 hour time frame and see how the 4 hour is. So the 4 hours bear also. We do have a minor zone that's coming down to. So to me now, once we break below this zone 126.87, we have nothing, and we should see continuation of this move, 216 pips down to the next support. As I said, we do have little small supports in these zones, but the overall idea would be to target this clean structure, and that coincides with the daily and weekly bias. They're all intertwined into one. So the target would be below this zone here, and then we can look to capture this clean range. And then if we were to get more information on the hourly time frame, entry wise, you might take your entries from the hourly and things like that. You can see here that you can even bring your zone down a little bit tighter to 126.63. I'd be comfortable taking at 126.87 where I marked up on the 4. But if you wanted to be super conservative, you could wait for 126.60, and that's a pretty clean zone there, that you could look to capture a good portion of your pips at. So yeah, dollar CAD, I'd definitely be looking for sells this week. But as I said, as you get closer to NFP, maybe we'll start bouncing before NFP, maybe not. But if I was to follow from an intraday perspective, so today strictly, I'd be looking for sells. And then I would expect this weekly candle to continue down, but you need to see how we start closing day by day. So yeah, definitely sells there look quite valid. So where did I learn from? As I said, I've learned from multiple people, taken bits and parts from every person that I've come into contact with, and made a strategy that suits me. Revolves it around my personality traits, my tendencies, things like that. Thank you, sir, for the nice comment. You can come to my city, Karachi. Oh, I've heard of Karachi. I think actually one of my friends, that's where he's originally from. Make good biryani you can eat. Thank you very much. Maybe I'll take you up on that offer. But you give me signals in return. Yeah. So what's your point on funding challenges? So what do you mean by that? So, a bit more context there would be great. Um, my whole point for taking challenges and, getting funded was to build up capital in my personal accounts. So that was my whole point. That was after I had a proven strategy, So that's what I've been doing, and funneling money into my personal account, so that eventually I don't need funding. I'm pretty much at that stage now. Once you reach like the late 20s, 30K stage, you don't really need funding. And cigarettes. So where will my entry be on GJ? So I'm waiting for above this zone. Same with AJ. I'm waiting for above the zone. And gold also. We're just ranging here, guys. So just be careful. Looking for trades. We're ranging. Just wait for the confirmations. We have a minute and 40 seconds left for a candle to close, which is the 30-minute candle. We've seen London open there at 8. We broke the 30-minute high, but didn't see an awful lot of, good confirmations. We didn't see like bottom wicks and things like that. And then we've come back into the range. So, if you were to go off of that theory for the last 2 hourly candles, you would have saved yourself 2 bullets there on GJ. I'm not too sure about AJ. I didn't really see how they formed. And then, gold is just being gold. We're just kind of bouncing back and forth. You can see, like, this is how you really read market structure. So, you can see that we're coming up to the zone. We have the zone marked out here at 163.5. And we're just bouncing back and forth. So, this is where you just wait. You sit out and you wait. And that's a hard thing for people to understand. Do I trade indices like US 30? No, I don't. US 30 was something that I was having a look at over the last couple of months. I've been looking at it, but I don't really trade it at all. But it seems to be like a good pair that you can really capture some nice trades on. Kind of always has clean traffic. But let's have a look. Yeah, so I'm just looking at here. So maybe your trade was at 6:30 here. So this is what I'm looking at on GJ Gold and AJ, something like this. So that was your trade there this morning, was a buy, following the daily bias and the 4-hour bias and the hourly bias. Now, I'm not too sure if that's a big move. What was that? 70 points on US 30. So yeah, maybe what I noticed from watching it in London is that it kind of makes a move at London, pre-London, like an hour before the open. And then it kind of ranges off until New York session. So, maybe this was your move here on the hourly. also. That was really your move. So, today I'd look for continued buys, but a key thing to understand is today, again, is that it is a US bank holiday. So you're not going to get as much volume as you would have. Well, we're doing well here. We're catching up with the comments. Catching up with the comments here. GBP CAD, look for sells. Price below daily, below 4 hour support. 1 hour target. 4 hour, 1 hour target, 159. Medium term, I'd probably sell if broken support tested. Nice. Let's have a look at GBP CAD. So here we have GBP CAD. So look at GBP CAD, it's completely different compared to GJ or GU. So, you actually would have gotten nice sells off this daily candle if you're a swing trader. 4 hour as well. I'm sure there's some of the guys in the stream from my streams that would attest this is a setup that we look for an awful lot on the stream. This type of price action setup here with the 4 hour low being broken and then continuation down as we have clean traffic to the left. So what does that look like on an hourly time frame or a 30-minute time frame? It looks pretty good for sales. Yeah, pretty much you could take them as soon as you get like a top wick here on this candle. 27 and you have clean traffic. So yeah, you'd be waiting really for a top wick on that candle that you can use as a stop loss. Yep. Looks pretty good for continued sells. Okay, so AJ, let's go back to gold here. Yeah, lazy Mondays, definitely lazy Mondays. Thank you, Nolan. Okay. So did I have a full-time job and use your salary? Yeah, so, like everyone else, you have to have a full-time job to start trading first. And anyway, you can't just go into it without anything. And, there is a lot of people that only trade one session, and trading can be your main source of income, but you can have other things going on. You don't need to put yourself in a box and just do one thing. You can, I don't know, be a content creator on YouTube. You can have your own business, I don't know, selling books, whatever, in the meantime, you don't just need to rely on trading as your main, source of income. It's probably not the best thing. Big guy, how many pairs do you trade a day? So the 3 pairs that I trade are GJ, AJ, and gold. Now I wouldn't trade them every day, depending on the setups that form. I'd need to see how the setups form. So look what's happening here in the first 5 minutes at 30. We're coming up now. Similar to the other trades, this candle could reject here and pull back, but I'll be waiting for this candle to finish off here. And maybe on a 15, I'll take a look at it. See if I can get in a little bit earlier, But yeah, let's put this user in timer. But yeah, so I mainly trade GJ, AJ, and gold. For shorts on UG CAD, you're looking for a clear break and retest of 1603. So 16030. Yeah, so what I'd look for here is, because we've gotten this confirmation, I'm going to go back here, and it's going to be a little bit unclear for a second, but let's have a look at the structure to the left. So the structure to the left is quite nice. What do we have? We have clean candles below the zone. So this is what I'd be looking to take advantage of right here. So now let's go back to where price is forming. We looked at the daily. The daily was bearish, the 4 hour was bearish, hourly was bearish. So we know these things. So what is your execution going to be? So if I was entering this trade, I don't trade GCAD, so I'm not too sure how it moves and things like that. But I'd wait for a bigger top wick, and then I'd look to come down. So this could be one entry like this, quite simple. Or you might get a candle coming up to this zone like this, closing like something like this. Maybe with a bottom wick like this. Then this is your break and retest. So what you might want to do is to get in on the next candle. Maybe you could get in on the low, then you can get that continuation down. Or a candle might just close like that, and then you can get in. So, 3 setups there I've given. Either wait for a bigger top wick or wait for this pattern to play out. 2 patterns to play out. So that was the second pattern, and then the other pattern would be, it's not really a pattern, it's just price action. This, because we looked to the left, we had clean traffic. So yeah. And what can you see now? You can see that we're coming up and creating a bigger top wick. It's the last, I'm on actually a 15 here. Let's have a look at 30. Yeah, it should be the same. So, you want to retest of this structure, exactly where that red line is, and this red line up here. Then you might be able to have a sell up on the break of the low. So let's monitor that and see how that gets on there. But yeah, sells definitely. Let me block this naked HD guy. God, he's really spamming today. Oh, he's super grateful for the amazing content. Could you kindly take us through on how you execute your entries? Yeah. So I think I went through this at the start, but let's say we get what we want here on GJ. So you can see here I have buys above. Now I have 2 zones, but I could take buys above here. So quite simply, I'm waiting for a candle to close above like this. This may come on an hourly, it might come on a 30-minute, 15, blah, blah, blah. Then execution wise, I'd be waiting for a bottom wick. Something like this maybe. Then, what would I have? I'd have a buy stop on the flip of this candle. So right here. And then I can execute on that and look for continuation up. That would be my execution on the flip of that candle. Now, if it comes up and gives a top wick straight away from the start, then it'll be on the high. But it just depends on how the candle forms for the execution. So I hope that helps. Okay. So let's Let's clear this off here. I'll just put the link to my Instagram again because I think it might have been filtered out with that guy's comments. For anyone that's interested in following my Instagram, there you go. So yeah, GJ, we're just kind of bouncing here, and it's very similar to AJ and GJ are very similar, And again, this is why, someone was asking me earlier, do you trade similar, and take impulse trades and things like that. This is one of the reasons why I don't take impulse trades, because if I was to execute here the last 4 times, I would have been brought back into this zone. I would have been stopped out down here, vice versa, maybe down here or whatever, if I was using a current candle stop. So, that's why I wait for these good setups, strong win rates, and then I execute. Okay, let's have a look at, I need to actually make sure that sent the link into yeah, so the links have been sent in, and yeah, everything's ready to rock and roll there. So yeah, we're just waiting really for price action to play out. So how was everyone's weekend? How did we all get on? What did we get up to over the weekend? For me, I was watching the Liverpool match on Saturday, and then Saturday actually I had an event to go to, so I went out for food after the event and things like that. So yeah, that was my weekend, and then yesterday I just kind of chilled out, prepared for this trading week, and yeah, that was it really. Done a bit of an outlook for the week ahead, and that was it. And do I wait for the closure of the flip candle? No. So once I get this closure of this candle here, so this candle needs to close like this, then I'm ready to execute. I have my buy stops ready. All I'm waiting for now is a bottom wick to execute on. But don't wait for the closure of this candle here, because this it's too late if I wait for this. This is your confirmation, this candle. Why? Because it's doing what? 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, 5, 6 candles couldn't do in the past. Okay, I can see someone entered a GBP CAD trade. So did the candle flip? Yeah, so what top wick did you get there? 5 pip. Not really the best for me. You tapped into a zone. So maybe once you break this low, so what I'll do here is put an alert on it. Once you break this low, you should continue down, because this will be re-breaking the 15-minute low and the 30-minute low also. So once that happens, you should continue down to fill the range there. And gold is now, I don't know, gold is just coming back and forth. You know, the boys is boys, but we'll see how it forms. And GJ quite the same. So thank you for your IG link. Well done. Your long live streams. No, I don't really trade New York. New York is something, that I just kind of take it easy and come back and look at the charts, because it's just too long to be on the charts for the day. I just kind of come back and forth in New York, rather than sitting and watching the charts. You need to just have that kind of balance in your life. You can't be on the charts for that long every day. Patience pays. It does indeed. It does indeed. So AJ, yeah. So as I said, when I first hopped on, it's a bank holiday. It might just range, and we're kind of getting that price action, which is fine, So we'll see. So this was Luke's weekend. He watched the football Saturday, then watched Monaco Grand Prix, went for a run and spent an hour or two on the charts for this week. Very good. Nice little weekend. Jeez, this guy just doesn't stop. Let's block him again. But he must be getting back with different accounts. Shame the Monaco Grand Prix. It's good to see a few familiar names in the chat that I do see in my live stream. So really appreciate the support, guys, for coming on here today. Really, really do appreciate it. Quite majority of people that trade knew that today was going to be a bit of a slow day with bank holiday and things like that. So I appreciate you guys coming on here and showing some love and support. So do you only trade along if the 4-hour flip is over the daily flip? No. So this would be only one of my setups. So I have around 4 different setups. So this would be one. So this is just a simple setup, candle closing above the range. But if I got a fake out, that'd be a second setup of mine would be a fake out. A third setup would be a break and retest. So let's say here, if we were to close above this zone here, something like this, and if the next candle was to come down like this, next candle was to come down like this, and then the following candle was to close like this, wait for the bottom wick, execute on the buys going up, and that's another setup that I take. And there, so entry be up at here somewhere, depending on the candle again. And then fake outs, an example of a fake out maybe would be, it'll take me too long to draw it out, but let's have a look back here, previous day. So this is a fake out down here. Remember when this happened last week? And right here is a fake out. That's another setup. So that'd be 3 setups. Then another setup is like, another setup would be this one here on the 4-hour on GBP CAD. So this weak bullish candle breaking the lows, boom, clean traffic to the left. So that'd be me 4 setups. So this 15-minute never broke the lows on GCAD. So gold, let's Let's go back. And AJ and GJ. Okay. You need moderators. Yeah, I think said that to Cam about getting. I've been Nightbot in my streams, so if anyone comes into the streams and they're spamming the stream, they basically just ban them straight away. So yeah, this will know to kind of do it manually. Bottle servers, potent nights and spent the days recovering. Nice. We'll have to have a few of them if I come over for a nice ski trip. Yeah, see the scene in Ireland, in Dublin, for all that is quite poor. You know, there's nowhere in Ireland like that. I think there's one place, 22s, but yeah, it's not even that great. The kind of UK is a lot better for that type of thing, and the rest of Europe is better. Yeah, not really Dublin or in Ireland in any way. So I think I answered that question. What's your buy stop and TP at? So I don't have a buy stop and TP yet because I'm not in any trade. So when I enter a trade, you will see me. One, I'll have this on my screen somewhere, that type of thing. And I think there's actually a few banners here that I can use. Let's have a look. So you'll see maybe buy stop triggered, or buy trade entered, or whatever, sell stop triggered, sell. You'll see me in a trade first is basically the point. So yeah. Let's go back to the comments here. Is gold a fake out? No. Gold isn't really a fake out because look at the daily here. We have a daily candle that is massively bullish. So I don't take fake outs if it's going against the daily trend. I only take fake outs if it's I only take fake outs if it's going against the daily trend. Okay. So let's say, for example, the only time I'd be looking for a fake out today is if I was looking for buys, so maybe somewhere down at this level. Whereas I wouldn't be really too keen on looking for sells on gold today. Maybe below 58. But apart from that, I wouldn't be too keen on it. So let's go back to AJ because I think we have a question here on AJ. Are you able to give your analysis on AJ? Yeah, I've done the analysis at the start of the stream, but I'll go over it again for educational purposes. So what we had here when we came to the charts was that we seen that Friday's candle closed above, and we had a support down here. So this is on daily time frame. We had clean traffic, up into this zone, minimum up to this wick, kind of in here, if you can see. So I expected this candle to continue up. Obviously came to the charts when this move happened, so I wasn't on an Asian session. I don't trade Asian. So my boys was boys. It still is boys. I dropped to the 4 hour, look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour has closed above also. And haven't really got a big bottom wick on it for, to take any trades. But, the boys is boys. Then I dropped to the hourly. Look to the left. What can I see on the left? I can see that would be a target, but I dropped to the 30 also. and I seen that we had a minor zone here. So let's zoom into this. We had a minor zone up here. So that's why I'm waiting for above that zone. And you can see that, this zone has pretty much stood up the last 2 hours around. So that's why I'm really waiting for above that zone. And then once I get that confirmation that it's above that zone, I can look to take advantage of this 30 pips. So we'll see. But the last four candles, this candle's going to close in 3 minutes. So the last 2 hours has just been ranging on all pairs really. GJ, AJ, gold. Maybe we're getting the push out on gold now, out of this range. We'll see. I'm not looking for sells on gold. I'll be more looking for retests of this zone. So a steeper 4-hour bottom wick, maybe down here to 56, and then they could look for buys from 56 or 58, which is this zone on the 30-minute and this zone on the hourly. So we'll see how that plays out. So what amount did your 29? Around 8,000. It's euro, so it's probably around 33 or $34. So around 8,000, but I've topped that up with my funded account. So I've got to the stage now where I don't really need a funded account because my stop losses are like 12 pips a lot of the time. So I pop around 5 lots majority of the time on my trade. So I don't really need a funded account, but I can keep on fulling and topping up my personal. So yeah. Now the 8,000 to 29, that didn't happen just strictly from trading. As I said, it happened from topping up and maybe month by month topping up. Some of it happened from trading, of course, but not all of it. That'd be an unrealistic kind of return if it was just trading, like 300%. Oh, so here's GCAD. So we're breaking this low now. So let's see how this would have went off. As I said, I don't trade GCAD, and bearing in mind it is the last minute of the early candle also. So I'd be very aggressive with managing risk on this trade. But you can see the alert went off there and pretty much no drawdown. So if you're listening, maybe that would have been your trade. Your stop around 9 pips, 8.5 pips. And I'd be looking to go to break even 100% there. Yeah, I'd go to break even right here. And because of this early candle, the next one might pull back. So the setups are given out on GCAD. I don't trade it, but price action's price action. So yeah, there you go. Look at the way this hourly candle is forming now. Straight back up with no bottom wick. So maybe as soon as this candle flips now, bye. Let's have a look at these candles. So GJ again, just no good. And this is the third time in a row that the early candle has started off without a bottom wick. And one after the other, really. Let's have a look at the hourly zone. So to be fair with that candle, and sometimes I do this on my stream where it has closed above on the hourly, but I still would need a bottom wick there, to enter that trade. I'd need a bottom wick. 90% of candles have bottom wicks, so execution wise, I want my execution to be the best as possible, and I don't want to be entering up here when I know that 90% of the time it comes down and creates a bottom wick. So why not just wait for that? I need at least 100 pips this week. I'd say so. And went downstairs this morning to make coffee. Oh, no way. Nothing worse. Nothing worse. I stocked up on, I have an espresso machine, so I just stocked up on the pods actually on the weekend there. And we went down this morning. I made a coffee. It's a little bit cold now because I've been talking so much today with all the questions, but I'll still drink it. Yeah, so GJ is definitely playing around. What do you think of? I'm waiting for a bottom wick here, guys, just in case you are wondering. No bottom wick as of yet. 30-minute has closed, above the most recent. Hourly has closed above the most recent. There is a 30-minute zone here if we just switch up to the left and have a look at this. So this is the zone where there was a lot of rejections at. So I'm just being aware of this zone. But anyway, at the moment I can't do anything because of this candle. So let's say you were to enter up here, getting a bit of FOMO that's going to run away. Now you're sitting back and draw down. And with my strategy, my execution needs to be perfect. So I can't, afford to be entering up there and, come back into drawdown, like 7 pips drawdown at the moment. So let's see if I can get a bigger bottom wick on this candle. Again, I'm aware of the time. It's 9 o'clock, Dublin time. So that's an hour after London Open. So we tend to, range out a bit. But if I do see something that is nice, like a bigger bottom wick, I will consider. What do you think of EU? I don't trade EU, to be honest, but I'll take a quick look at it for you. EU. So yeah, I see where you're saying like maybe an exhaustion wick, but I reckon you'll have a better confirmation in 56 minutes time when this 4-hour closes, because at any stage this 4-hour could still flip and continue up in the last 55 minutes. So maybe your confirmation will be better in the next 55 minutes. That's an exhaustion wick. Maybe you can look for sells. For me, I wouldn't really, but I see your perspective. I definitely do see your perspective on that. So here's the bigger bottom wick now on GJ. GJ closing above. Yep, closed above on the early. Seen that. So the thing is here is because we've made the top wick in the first 5 minutes, stop loss is going to be a lot bigger here. So let's see how this candle forms. If I was looking to enter this trade, maybe on the break of the high would be a good option, because for the sake of, pip, you have that better confirmation that you're breaking above the previous hourly high, and the flip would be a bit aggressive here. But it looks like we might come down and break the hourly low, and anyway, so if I'm in a trade, I will let you know beforehand. I'm going to see how we start to we start to form here. Compounding, yeah, exactly. Small percentages every day lead up to good numbers. And then people would say, "Oh, it's only 12 pips you're closing at," but it doesn't matter what people fail to understand that it doesn't matter. It's risk to reward. So if I have a 10 pip stop and someone has a 50 pip stop, you know, it doesn't matter, because if I have a 10 pip stop and I secure a 15 pips and I risk 2%, I'm making 3.5% on that trade. Whereas if someone has a 50 pip stop and they secure a 75 pips, they're making 3.5% on that trade. So it's the exact same outcome, but just smaller stops, you know, risk to reward. But, you know, you need to have that structure, needs to be there for them small stops to play. You can't just enter with a small stop if the structure's not there, you know. So yeah. So there's 3 times there this morning from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We seen when we first jumped on the charts, this hourly candle had no bottom wick. The next one at 8 had no bottom wick. This one had no bottom wick. So that's 3 times today that you would have saved yourself to get a better entry, potentially, on this candle specifically. And you know, you would have saved 3 bullets. So you just have to wait and be patient. Do I use harmonic? No, I don't use any like harmonic patterns or things like that. I literally just look at, I use my eyes. My eyes is my best indicator. So I use price action. So look at this, guys. I'll get back to that question. So we came up, made the top wick, okay, on the hourly. So now you'd bring this to break even, your trade to break even, because you made the hourly top wick. And, you know, once you start breaking back below here, you'd be securing some. Remember your stop loss, okay? We looked at this trade and we identified on the 15. I don't trade GCAT, but I said specifically, once you break these 15 lows, we're good. So your stop would have been 9 pips. So if you're risking 2%, 9 pip stop, you came into 2% profit. So that's the same as having, you know, 50 pip stop and coming into 50 pips profit. You know, it's not really a difficult concept to grasp, I'm not going to lie, but for new traders, I think it is. It's more difficult because of the industry and signals and following things like that, you know, and that's why it's so difficult to grasp. So once that low is broke, I'd go to break even on GCAD and secure some. Okay, GJ is not making an attempt to flip here. Yeah, your strategy is powerful and easy to understand. Exactly, and you know that's the way you need to make trading. You need to make it easy to understand, because if you're getting confused with strategy, you know, maybe it's not the strategy for you, or you know, and then the thing is, like, don't diss other people's strategies. That's why, you know, when someone said about order blocks and things like that, you know, I don't care. If that works for you, that is all that should matter for you, is that strategy works for you. So, you know, who knows, in a couple of years' time, I could be trading different way, which I don't think I will. But I'm open to learning, you know. But once the strategy works for you and once it's a profitable system, well then, you know, happy days. Can't complain. What are your thoughts on gold now that closed on the 1 hour bearish? Let's have a look. Yeah, so, you know, some people will take sells here. Maybe actually not, because it is 30 zone, but maybe on the hourly do well. But for me, I wouldn't, because we could be just creating a bigger bottom wick on the 4 hour for us to flip and continue up. So if it was the case where this 30-minute candle was to see, I'm looking at the time here, I'm looking at the 4 hour. The 4 hour only has 50 minutes left. So I don't, maybe potentially you could get it in the last 30-minute candle, but it's a little bit unlikely. But if this 4 hour candle was, 30-minute candle was to close like that, and the next 30-minute candle on gold was to come up and close like this above this zone here, okay? And this would be considered a fake out, and this would be another one of my setups that I look for. So, you know, again, looking for your bottom wicks and things like that for your execution, and then looking for continuations up. So that would be the whole another setup and the gist of that setup, really. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not really looking for sells here. Don't really want to take sells, because the direction is very bullish at the moment. You know, on the daily it's bullish. On a lot of time frames we're bullish. So I'd rather not take any sells. Jeez. Hi, Karan, how are you? How are you getting on today? So let's have a look at the AJ. Actually, we didn't really have a look at AJ and seeing how the early closed there. So AJ, yeah, kind of closed at that resistance again. See, the thing now that's put me off these GJ sells, or GJ buys, sorry, is that we've broken the 30-minute low. Okay. So in normal market conditions, I have a buy stop placed up here, ready to get activated. But because we've broken the 30-minute lows, this candle may just continue down now. You know, so I'll put an alert on that, but I highly doubt that it will get activated, because of the way the 30-minute is forming and the 15-minute is forming. It's very unlikely that will get activated. How do we identify the daily flip? So it's very easy. You just go onto the daily, and where this candle flips, that's your daily flip. Same with the 4-hour, where this 4-hour flips, that's your 4-hour flip. So right where the candle turns red, or right where it turns green, depending on what way you're looking at it at. So yeah. So euro dollar, I had a look at, and I was looking at sells on euro dollar. Was it sells or was it buys? Oh, it was buys, wasn't it? Yeah, buys on euro dollar. Now at the moment it just looks rangy. You know, it just looks like it's ranging. The buys look to happen in Asian for some weird reason. The buys happen in Asian. Not a lot that happens now, but yeah. Apart from that, I'd wait for 1.0765 there on euro dollar, because can't really do anything here. It's ranging, but I definitely wouldn't be looking to take sales. I think someone was saying this was a wick exhaustion, so that's why, you know, you wait for the confirmation. Yeah, it was because the 4-hour, I said wait for the 4-hour to play out. So what were we on there? We were on GJ, and we were on the 30-minute time frame. Yeah. So look, this trade on GCAD that I said, it went into 9 pips, so you know I wasn't active on it at the time. Went into 10, 9.7. I wasn't active on time on GCAD, but now that this 15 has closed against you, you know, maybe go to break even if anyone is in that. I think someone that's in it from the flip, so they actually have a better entry on the flip of the candle. So, you know, you have a much better entry there. But yeah, I think definitely, I wouldn't anyway if I was in that trade. That's what I'd do. But each to their own. Each to their own. Thanks a lot. I really wish I could learn more from you. Yeah, sure. I put my Instagram in the chat and follow me on that. And then, my YouTube channel is Nathan Trades also. So you can follow me over there. But I'll be a lot more active on this channel trading up. I might do a stream a week and hop on, do the London session with you guys. So we'll see how that goes. So great question for Luke from Luke here. Tips on starting your funded challenge and drawdown. I'm down 0.7%. I've taken 3 trades, 2 loss, 1 break even, risking 0.75%. All right. So the best thing to do here, and I've been in this case as well, and the best thing to do here is to just relax. Worst case scenario, you have to repeat the challenge, and I know it's not the ideal, and there's plenty of times where I had to just accept it, because at the time when I was doing funding challenges, there wasn't the extensions that they have on them these days, so there wasn't things like that. So there was a bit more pressure back when FTMO first kind of started. But yeah, take your time. Like, worst comes to worst, you just have to do it another month. This month, you might say to yourself, yeah, the market conditions weren't perfect this month. 10% in a month or 8%, depending on prop firms, is a ask. You know what I mean? But another thing I'll say to you is, if you manage to get into 2% profit, maybe up your percentage risk, because that's what I used to do for the funded challenges, was risk 2% per trade, because 10% was quite hard to achieve if you're risking 0.75. Now it depends on your strategy, but for my strategy it was hard if I was risking 0.75. So maybe if you get yourself back to break even or in 1% profit, maybe it's good then to up your percentage a little bit more. So I'm just looking at this here, guys, and stop will be 20 pips here for this. So I'm asking myself, does it make sense? Target up here is 18 pips, and my stop loss would be 20 pips. So I wanted this stop to be 12, 10 pips max. Now it's 20 pips if I was getting up here. So the risk to reward is not there for me. For this trade, it's not there for me. And another reason, the 30-minute broke the lows and things like that. So yeah, it's not there for me. But you have 25 days left, Luke, so you have plenty of time. Yeah, I'll speak to you tomorrow, Thomas. I'm sure I'll see it on my streams tomorrow. But yeah, Thomas is quite similar. He risks 2% on challenges. Tips on passing funded accounts. Right lot size to use on each account. See, this is a question that people. There is no right lot size. You just have to go off percentage what you risk. So, there's a few people saying they risk 2%. That's what I done personally on the funded accounts. Not the funded, the challenge. I done 2%. When I got to the verification, I done a little bit lower. I'm just gonna stand up here, guys. Yeah, I done a little bit lower. When I got to the verification and things like that. But yeah, that's the main thing. That'd be the main tip. Stick to your risk management, to what you're using, And don't get carried away. You know, worst comes to worst, you have to repeat the challenge, but you shouldn't really be failing it unless you're kind of overtrading or it's an insanely bad month. But yeah, just use risk management mainly. Okay, look at EJ. Some guy is saying, see that, Thomas? EJ. See, it's not really. I wouldn't really say that EJ is flying here. You know, for me, there wasn't a lot of entries. You know, unless you got in at 6:30, or maybe then. But in the last 4 hours, it's just ranged. It's just literally bounced back and forth. It's the exact same as GJ and AJ. So yeah. Okay, let's see other questions. Just use proper risk management, exactly. If you know much about CTI, how does that scaling work? And when they get, to be honest, I don't know much about CTI. They're, what are they called? City Traders. Is it a City Traders something? I've heard of them, but I've never worked with them before, so I'd be lying if I told you anything about them. I haven't heard anything really about them at all. But yeah, you know, any prop firm is pretty good. I do see that some have scaling plans where they increase like the equity by, I think it's by 10% a month if you reach 10%, something like that. I've seen a few of them do that, but yeah, for the majority, it's like challenge based. AJ is taken off. Yeah, you know, if this 30-minute close above, could be good. You know, yeah, could be good. Let's see. Just the thing is here, right, is that the time, guys, right? And I do say this on my stream a lot of the time about the time. So it's 9:23. Okay, down here it's 9:23. So the 4-hour candle closed at 10 o'clock my time. So what I do say is, do you want to be in a trade that involves you holding the trade? Well, depending on your strategy, but for my strategy, do I want to be in a trade that it depends on me either holding the trade for the next 4-hour candle or whatever? Not really. So normally on my stream, I give it to kind of 9:30, see if I can enter a trade. But yeah, that's what I normally do. Now AJ is setting up here, so I'll watch it and see how it forms and things like that. But one other thing that I would say is that it's kind of been a choppy ride up. Look at this. Now, this is 4, 5, 6 bullish candles. This formation session. Down here. Now we're coming towards the end of this 4-hour candle. And what happens at the end of 4-hour candles? Normally, at the end of a 4-hour candle, it leaves a top wick, doesn't it? It leaves a top wick for the next candle a lot of the time. So you know, you don't want to be in that. You don't want to be caught out on that. So let's see. I'll probably stick to AJ for now. As GJ here, not too keen on taking GJ at all. We'll keep an eye on both candles here. The main reason why I'm not really too keen on taking GJ is the stop. And what is AJ? So let's say this candle closes here. Stop is 12. Yeah, it's a bit better. It's a bit better. Can I check gold? Yeah, so gold's just breaking below. Now this is an area that I said potentially it could fake out at, so watch out for that. If this was at 9 o'clock, it'd be great, because then you'd have two 30-minute candles for the 4 hour to close. But because at 9:30, it might be difficult for this 4 hour to flip now. So you can see a lot of my setups are based on the higher time frames and continuation of the higher time frames. But entries are on the 30-minute time frame. Flip. Can you explain that with a little bit? Yeah, so a flip is just basically the flip of the candle. So where the candle turns green or red, so this would be the daily flip. And obviously the higher the time frame, the bigger kind of impact that has. If the daily's flipping, then you might say, right, sales could be valid here. Whereas if like 15 minutes flipping, it's not that big of a confirmation, but yeah, that's just what a flip basically means. So that's Luke's plan, is to get up into positive equity, then up 0.75% at the moment. Probably a little low for this week. Yeah, so just wait and take your time. Monday today is going to be pretty poor in New York. Tuesday might be the best time to trade. Wednesday, best time to trade. Thursday, I think Thursday will be a quiet day. Friday, you will have volume because it's NFP. But Thursday could be a quiet day. I hate when all these bank holidays start coming on, because it means, you're basically missing a trading day. So, yeah. But that's a good plan, anyway. GU, I think I was looking for buys, it could have been. Yeah, because it was similar to GJ. I don't trade it now, but that's what the bias was. So let's see, here goes 30 seconds left. Let's see how this candle closes. And GJ, not too much. Yeah, so that early hive is never, activated. Just looking at that there. So you wouldn't even been in a trade on GJ, because the whole idea was that the early would continue. You would have had a buy stop, there. So around it came close, came quite close. So AJ here, this is what, you have clean zones up until that target at 71. All right. Now, for me, it's 9:30, so I'm gonna need to see something the next 5 minutes that's gonna make me want to, take a trade basically. So what I'm waiting for here is a bottom wick, need a bottom wick here. So need a bottom wick, and then you can take the flip. Or it wouldn't be a flip at the moment, it'd be a break of the high. But one thing I will say is that time-wise, I'm giving this a time limit because it's 9:31. I do not want to be in a trade for the end of a 4-hour candle where 8 times out of 10 it pulls back in the last 15 minutes of a 4-hour candle. So as a price action trader, the time is very critical to your trade. Thank you very much, Gilbert. I appreciate that comment. It's a really nice comment. Yeah, it's good to see, a few people from my streams coming over. I know Gilbert has been in my stream quite a bit. So yeah, it's good to see a few people come over. So yeah. And where am I waiting actually for this candle to retest? Well, I'm waiting for it to retest this zone here, which is like 6 pips away. Okay. I'd probably use previous candle anyway, but I still need to see that retest happen. Definitely. But there's be definitely a time limit on this trade. By 9:40, I need to see this play out. How is GJ? Yeah, so you can see here, we've actually failed to close above that resistance again on the 30-minute. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we just start rejecting now and come back into this range or just range in here for the day. So you might see, continuation of this market conditions, these market conditions for the day. Okay. That might be the case. GBP USD is going down, downtown. They're very emphatic with that there. Let's go and all. Let's have a look. You know what? GU was bringing daily zone. See, this was the case with GJ where I think it was like 7:30, and I said I'd be open to sales below 1,6,400, I think it was. Below this zone. So quite similar with GU. That's what you kind of have at this time. And the main reason was similar to GJ, we're at daily resistance here, so we could get pullbacks. So if I was to look at this from a selling perspective, to be honest, entry probably would have been on this candle here. Half an hour ago, would have been on this candle. Didn't really get an awful lot of volume. Stop would have been either above, would have been too big. Probably would have been above this high. So yeah, probably would have been a break-even trade with the time that it is now. You can see here with the volume, all you have to do here is to look at the 5-minute and just see the volume, or the 15-minute or the 30-minute. The volume is dying down. So what does bottom wick mean? So bottom wicks are just these here. So let me highlight this. So this is a bottom wick here. This is a bottom wick. This is a bottom wick. This is a bottom wick. Obviously not too big. Bottom wicks are these. So they're basically price continuing down to get liquidity for price to come up. You're following market structure here, so you can see that this low was respected here. This one looks like it's respecting it, but never really got a big bottom wick to enter that. You know, if it was to enter this trade right now, as it's broken the high, the stop would be like 2-3 pips. You know, it's not really. I wouldn't take it. I've never really taken a trade like that. So yeah, that's. So that's really the gist for AJ there. Didn't really give me what I was looking for. Now we can see the time. There's only 22 minutes left for this 30-minute candle. I haven't got me confirmation of the retest down here. That's what I was looking for. So, you know, it is what it is. If you don't get what you want, you don't take your trade. 30-minute on GJ is just looking quite poor. You know, rejection. Doesn't look great. Now gold here, this is what I'd look for in New York session if. Yeah, exactly, look. So in gold here, if it was a normal day in New York session and we didn't have a bank holiday, as I think I drew this out an hour ago. If you skip back an hour there, I'd be looking for basically this move of a fake out. You know, but I know that New York going to be quite poor today, so we might not get much volume in New York. But yeah, that would be the trade that I'd be looking for if the volume would have been there in New York and vice versa. So guys, I think we have 140 people on here, so make sure that you've hit the like button. Before you hop off here, just make sure you hit the like button on the stream. I'd really appreciate that, coming in here and giving some good knowledge, navigating a difficult day, which it is a difficult day as it's a US bank holiday, no trades. So navigating a difficult day, avoiding 3 trades on GJ, but being patient. So yeah, make sure you smack that like button before you hop off. But for me, I'm ready to call it a session here. We've 20 minutes left for the 4 hour to close. Don't really see anything happening. If it was a normal day in the US and wasn't a bank holiday, I'd say look for continuations on AJ, look for boys on gold, look for boys on GJ. But I won't be trading today, so yeah, I won't be trading today. What is this now? I won't be trading New York today, guys. So the last time I'll post my Instagram into the comment section there, guys. So follow me on Instagram, catch up with me on Instagram. I really enjoyed doing this stream, bigger audience, so it was good. Unfortunately today the conditions weren't really there to take any trades. If it's to wait for this 30-minute now, I'd need the 4 hour to close and things like that. So it's just too long. And I don't like trading at 10 o'clock because that's when the volume dies down in London. That kind of overlay into New York. So yeah, guys, thanks for joining the stream today. And I'm sure I will see you on here again. If you like the stream, make sure to pop a quick like on it before I hop off. but yeah, guys, I'll chat to you tomorrow at the same time. Well, on my streams on YouTube, but I'll definitely be on here again. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good day, and again, be careful in New York session. I'll chat to you tomorrow.